Recording the month 11, week 3 Thursday night go-to meeting. In attendance, myself, Eric, Jasmine, Joe, Lindsay, and Lindsay.
Yay.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I'm
What?
Lori.
Hello.
Didn't I
Hey,
say Lori?
Say that, Lori.
hello.
Hey.
Well, where are you, Lori? How come you're not showing up? Lori, apparently you're not here. I don't know how that happened.
Okay, since I'm not here, then don't touch my
There you are.
video.
I see you.
All right.
There
That's
you
a
are.
plan to me. That's a
There
plan.
you go.
All right. Well, Oriali has given us something to work with here. Has
Yay.
everybody else posted as replies to themselves, right?
Yeah.
I did.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who has watched Oriali's?
I have.
I have
Who? I'm sorry. I.
Joe.
Joe.
Lindsay,
Okay.
Michelle.
Joe, you start us off.
There's really not much to start off. She hasn't made a lot of changes from the initial video that we had watched. She's got some new animations. The music loops repeatedly, so she's gonna have to go back and do something with that.
Sure.
I'm not sure why she added the about the designer. I don't think it's a key
No,
aspect of the project.
not all.
So she has a number of topography issues that they either break the lines or they come up too close to the border. Um, in the SWAT there, she has a couple different areas that have just way too much text. So, I mean, she said that she was working on it, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how much more you want me to go into it.
Well, I would say, I'd have to counter saying she didn't do much. I think there is a lot more here. Now,
Well,
it's
It
not
is.
all the way through, but there is a lot more here, and I think that if repeating these elements that she's using to fill this will be great. I mean, we don't want her to do continue to make different things because then we won't have unifying elements at that point anymore. So there's a lot here.
Yeah, it is.
I think you're right about her typography is a big issue. There's a lot of text that's just not going to be legible, and then there are the moments, such as this, where she's cutting off the corner of that image, and then there's text that is ramming up into things or crossing unnecessarily.
Well, it's just
Um,
a matter of adjustment, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And I think
he's
this was one of them, like the P in professional right here. Like that's going to be difficult. She might need to change it to an area where there's more space, or just
well, she
change the
does nice
size of the
designs. I've
circle.
seen a lot of her stuff. She's just probably been really busy.
Yeah, but it's about the work.
on the note of type. The I don't even know the pushing of the text, like at 20 to 23.
Uh huh.
It starts out, so you're starting to read it, and then it starts to slide over. Well,
Yeah,
that effect is not so effective
it's
on
not
text.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the opportunity. Whoa, I can't read it. Wait, the project. What? It looks like there's more information there. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's different information. It starts off the
Some,
opportunity to introduce the project
oh,
would evaluate the opportunity. So
see, there
it's
just was.
stuff is off the side. So yeah, something's up with that move. And the same here. Having it move across, not a good idea. Having it start here and reveal itself is okay, but having it start in one place, like you said, you start to read it and then it moves.
Mm-hmm.
So good catch. Eric is in the lead. All right. So
What's this lead thing?
you'll find out.
Okay.
Jasmine, you have something to say?
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
was just about Eric
She
being in
was
the lead.
second my emotion. That's all. She was like, what's going on with this lead?
So I was piggybacking.
Mhm. Um, Miss Williams, you had something to say, right? Miss Haas, where'd you
No,
go? Okay.
I was just upset about my losing my first
Your
place
lead.
status.
Okay.
Everyone's so
Okay.
distracted now.
Did
I was
we
just
did we talk about this
No.
voice down here previously? I don't remember if it was in her
I
skeleton
don't
rod.
remember seeing it before.
I didn't see that before, but yeah, I saw it. I watched that.
Okay, let's talk about what's good about it and what's bad about it. So, somebody, if you've got a good or a bad, let's hear it.
I like that the white pops out like that, but it's too much gradient at the top. It's empty space. It's not.
I don't think it's unique to the brand.
It's not at all. I don't see where it matches the logo, or it has an old tone to it.
It's a stock third, lower third from either Garage or sorry, not Garage Band. Whatever the Apple.
iMovie,
Yeah.
yeah, it's well that
Yeah.
that's the big thing is that it just smacks of iMovie. That it's like an overused font. It's an element
Yeah.
that we see on all kinds of different
Yeah.
things. Every month
It's not even needed. It's not
somebody
needed.
brings that in and tries to use it, and it's like, well, gee, that's the same thing so and so used. So it's hard to make it part of your campaign when it's so identifiable as not something you created. Now, what is sort of good about it is that it has that strong verticality to it because of the typography that it is. And that
Mm.
verticality is an aspirational sort of piece, and it's sort of forward thinking, and it has that onward and upward kind of heroic feel that the music has, and that she's going for. But ultimately, I think the fact that it is so overused and so obviously a template just overshadows all of that. So there's no real need for it.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of detail to your pages that is unnecessary and distracting. Um, so there is that.
Hmm.
The
Then
circle
back.
effect is brought in between the beginning and right there where you just showed with the imagery. She could definitely bring that in. She goes right into textures afterwards. She could continue that effect
Mm-hmm.
right through that because that brings up from the very
Circles,
beginning of.
visual elements, and then
I think we're
circles
all in the
for
stages of making so many tweaks and trying to figure out where to place things, and it just feels like it's not enough time. Like, but that can't be the excuse because it's like you got to get a move on.
yeah. And
But
I
that
think
is the
Eric,
real
you're right.
reason.
That you're using she's using that technique with the circles. What is the purpose of going to flipping squares?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay.
And I didn't mean that as an expletive. I meant that
So with those flipping squares, man.
squares
Huh?
that flip.
You just meant that they flip, right?
There you go. Right. Um, so right, and that, going back to what I said about the beginning, she has a lot of different styles and effects going on, and let's continue to use those. And there's the circle, so the circle gets repeated later, and
Yeah.
let's spread it out so it's not so dark red heavy at the beginning, and then we go into something else. Let's have some dark red circle down in creative and something in the style guide and some dark red down there, and spread each of those different techniques out so that it has more of a unified, consistent feeling with it. Okay?
I think the circles definitely work on in her project.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Would you feel better if it was a flipping circle instead of a flipping square?
Well, it would be more. It would be more cohesive.
Jasmine, you are flipping flip, okay?
No, I'm serious because the first thing I thought of when I saw it, I was like, okay, well, squares don't go with it. Maybe she figured out a new technique because if you've already seen my
Hmm.
little video, my 2 seconds of it, I got excited with stuff. So I was just like, ooh, zoom, 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 and everything was zooming
Yeah.
because I knew how to zoom. And then I
Uh
was just
huh.
like, oh, okay. So I
Yeah,
should learn
Well,
something
okay.
new.
yeah,
So maybe flip
it would
was
it would
new.
at least
And
be another step towards consistent if they were flipping circles. So if these are flipping circles and those are flipping circles, that might work. She could put them both together. Make them both flip.
Or they don't have to flip. They could just pop in that bubble format so
That's
they
what
look
I
the
was
same as
just
with
getting
the
ready to
They
say.
pop
clouds.
in.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
because it
yeah,
looks like clouds. It looks like she's creating clouds out of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
mm,
Yeah.
and they could create a cloud shape. Would
Mm-hmm.
be a nice thing.
Fabulous.
Okay, y'all are doing Oriali's video for her because y'all got great ideas. Yes, you do. Let's see. Is there a Good idea. There we go. There we go. Good ones, everybody. Yes. And how
Wow.
should it end? What should be at the end?
Flying
Animated
logo.
logo.
Animated logo. That is correct. Yeah, that should stop really soon now. There we go. Is this new from Raul?
That was from Monday, I believe.
That's not new.
8 hours ago, this must be new.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Joe, you started us off. Who's watched this? Who's got notes for Kim?
I didn't watch hers
I'm gonna
yet.
watch Stacy's.
Looking at mine.
I've watched it.
Lindsay? Williams?
I haven't had a chance to watch this one yet.
Okay, let's all watch.
All right. I've watched it.
Oh, Eric, go ahead.
So
Teacher's
she's
pet.
still, again, the intro's great. It starts us off. This still needs to be cleaned up significantly. I don't know if she just needs to simplify it, maybe. It doesn't have to be as complicated.
Speaking of cleaning up, I don't mean to interrupt you, but while we're right here, I want to go ahead and mention it.
I was just getting ready to ask you to rewind that back to there.
Go ahead, Lori.
Because I feel like, okay, you can see through the rings, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think she should use either or, like the grid or the plain black. But inside of the ring is like a grayish.
Because remember, this was gray, and then she took the she took the square off of it.
It's throwing it off.
But she needs to take it out of here.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
And good, yeah. And so she took it off the sides, but it's still in the middle.
Got you.
So it needs to be the grid all the way across, or the
And it's
black.
in both.
And I think
It's in both.
the grid all the way across. Well, yeah, it needs to be black background, of course, but the grid would look better because even if it's black, then it's going to be a straight line here
Exactly.
of the grid. So go ahead and pull the grid over is the better
All
idea.
the way over to be like over the rings. I mean, I think it will look better. Just have the rings on the grid,
Right. Okay, so Lori, you're in second now. All right. Let's go.
I am not. She's
So
always
the little slide in and then the skidding
Yeah.
could be smoothed out significantly. My biggest thing for Kim is timing. Right here, the fade, competitors, fade. She could save so much time if she just had it at the top or just included it together. She could then increase the amount of time that she spends on each of the competitors so that they're not just like zooming, or I don't even know what that effect is. I still have an issue with this little piece because that's not a female right there.
You don't know.
That's what I mean.
25 to 35-year-old females, that was a male.
You don't know
Very
that.
butch.
Maybe, I don't know.
And she needs to make up her mind, or I don't want to say make up her mind, but decide to use the black or the white. That white is so bright.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of y'all have noticed, but she goes through right there just a few seconds ago, and it says fonts and colors and all of that, and then it goes in about another 20 seconds or somewhere through here. It starts going through all of that stuff over again.
And
I
there's
don't see the
color. Well,
purpose
this is
of it.
new.
I think she's
Yeah,
using
but you
that
can't
as
read the color palette at the bottom. You can't read it until it fades away.
Yeah, I think she was using that
The
Joe as a
topography
section
overlap
divider.
here is hard to read.
Yeah, that's too small.
Whoa, and it's too close.
Yeah.
Eric, what'd you just say? You think she's using what?
She's using that as a style or as a section divider, I believe. It might not be the most effective, but that's how I feel that she's using it. That typography, color, font, etc. Those little things.
Oh, to say like
and
this
then
is
she
what's
brings it
coming,
in.
and then she goes into it.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know that it's the most effective way to do it. One of my big comments, I've been wondering why I've been feeling off about. I like the beginning of her video. Once it gets smoothed out, I like it. It does feel high tech and professional. But then there's such a stark contrast between when we get into that computer monitor sliding over and then the circular thing. I don't know. To me, it's such a high contrast that.
What do you mean circular thing? Are you talking about the
Yeah,
thing that looks like a boom box, a speaker?
I think
Yeah,
part of the
this
reason
one.
is Because the opening has this nice, clean, sophisticated fill, and the rest of the video gets claustrophobic. There's a lot of competing elements. There's a
Yes.
lot of visual tension
And
throughout the whole.
remember from one of her
Right.
Well,
first iterations where she had it on the bottom?
mhm.
That
Yes.
I think I could dig a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
she brought it down.
this is stress. This whole everything after this seems
Mhm.
so stressed out. Like,
Yeah.
Well, here it is straight across the bottom.
Mhm.
right.
What's wrong with that? I mean, we talked about it before. There's a lot of um, sort of different elements that she's using, and she would need to choose between black or white background here, and
Mhm.
the square in the circle's not working, so she needs to
Mhm.
put them in circles.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of it, I mean, we've already discussed in
Yeah,
previous go-tos.
and this doesn't have any element of that. So,
No.
where is it? Is she, she was working hard on maybe doing some additions instead of fixing this. Um, so she's got a couple of go-tos to watch, I guess, to get all that. And here's the square within the, and why on earth would you have a black background when you've got the white background there?
Mhm.
Same for here. Um,
And it boils down to a lot of timing issues.
and then this
She
is a whole
spends.
different feel. That color
Mhm.
palette there is a whole different feel.
I do like how the quote appears over this, and she fades out, or she actually blurs the background. That's really nice effect. It's great.
Can you read it?
It's not
Mhm.
great use of her real estate right there, though, with um, the colors
I
sort of at the
You can't
bottom.
read that.
A little
I
hard to read.
I read it fine.
What does it say, Eric?
It says,
I'm just saying.
Mere
"Mere
color
color unspoiled
unspoiled
by
by
meaning
No,
and
no, no,
unacknowledged."
no, 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 Professor Argo, let it play and I want Eric to tell me what it says.
Or I'll just read it off my screen.
You read
No,
fast.
don't put it up your
The
screen.
point
You
is
know,
there's
because
not
she's
time.
right. Don't go there. Don't do that.
The point is there's
You
not
know
time.
you can't read it. I mean, seriously, you can't
not enough
read
time and it competes.
It looks
It's too
fine on
much
my.
visual tension.
It looks fine on my monitor because she has blurred out the background.
Well,
You know, a little bit more time on it, sure.
Too fast.
you could read it, but it's again mere color unspoiled by meaning and unallied. It just
Sorry.
how important is that quote? What I mean, Oscar Wilde said something about
It's
color.
important.
Yeah. Well, she had quotes in her project book. She had "All that glisters is gold is not gold" from Shakespeare.
Okay,
That's
and
good,
that's
but
easy.
That was
quotes,
great.
in my opinion, are fully dedicated. They have a significant meaning, and there shouldn't be elements competing behind them. The
Mhm.
quote should be strong enough to stand by itself.
Stand alone. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
you're right.
That's
Yes.
exactly
So,
what I think. Because
Agreed too.
Could she paraphrase? Can she say mere color can speak to the soul in 1,000 different ways?
If you do the dot dot dots,
I mean, she can do
Ellipses.
whatever she wants. It's her design. It's,
yeah.
it's really up to her on that one. You know,
Right.
Well,
I mean,
how would it work for you guys?
for me personally, I would shrink down the text. I would go something that's more legible. I would create a section where since the quote is going to be a significant portion, take up 2/3 of the canvas. If she wants to keep the color there, put it off to the left to take up the 1/3. Then it gives a visual flow and it gives the information.
Well, if she made it mere color can speak to the soul in 1,000 different ways, you could conceivably get that on 2 lines. And if you
Mhm.
could get it on 2 lines, you wouldn't have to blur the color, and the colors could just
Yeah,
be
because that's pretty. That is pretty. Those
Yeah, I
colors
don't want
are
to blur
and
the
it would
color.
beautiful.
give you time to read it and see the color palette all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
And you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time thinking about
Right.
what does that mean?
See,
Oh
How
that's
is
yeah,
that
what
pretty.
is
played?
that? Right.
Those gems look so nice, and
Oh
I
yeah.
just, it's just,
Hello,
I
folks.
mean, I think it would look
Again,
nice, fully
Okay.
vibrant, and then the
yeah.
words chunk down at the top. You know, just like edit the wording because
Right.
that's pretty,
Right, Lori.
Kim has
very
just
nice.
shown up. So,
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
okay. Hey, Kim.
Uh, Hi.
We're talking
Hi,
about you
Kim.
again.
Okay.
Okay.
How significant is your
You're
quote?
popular.
Uh, the one I have over the color palette?
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I brought that in because it was also a part of my campaign book. So I wanted to capture, and keep it consistent with those elements that I used in my campaign book.
Sure. Okay. Well, we were just saying that it's long. It's too long to read,
Still too, okay.
um, and that it's visual cacophony going on down here. We've got competing elements, even though they're blurred out. It makes it difficult to see,
Okay.
um, and the CMYKs are not legible even when they're in
Okay.
focus. But then when they're blurred out, then their presence is just sort of a white bar that doesn't mean the
Mm-hmm.
same as the color does.
Okay.
So the last suggest there's many suggestions and there's all kinds of things you could possibly do. But if you felt comfortable paraphrasing and shrinking it down to two lines, saying that mere color can touch the soul or whatever in a bunch of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you'd have space. If it were two lines, you'd have space to put it above while they're all on screen together. So the quote could be above the colored diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could bring the RGBs down below, and then it could all be on at the same time. So you'd have more time to read it,
I see. Okay.
and you could save yourself some time there as well, and fix your legibility issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because
So,
those colors are vibrant. I mean, blurring them out, keep them vibrant. They're so
You can
pretty.
also go with a different font, one of your secondary fonts, to make it easier to read.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
okay. And we said some other things about some continuity issues between your design elements. Let's go ahead and address one of them right now. We were talking about how you start off with this element straight across the bottom, and we all felt that it's very attractive and that it's working. But there's some confusion possibly when you get into the circle element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you addressed this because this particular composition I'm going to change. I'm not very thrilled with it.
Okay.
I just haven't, I'm definitely going to revamp it. I just haven't had a chance to change that.
Okay.
Hmm.
To what are you going to revamp it?
Well, the actual images that show the company's logo, those having that effect with the transition, I'm going to change that. And also too, as you've noticed, I'm trying to kind of eliminate the circle borders on the side because um,
Okay.
definitely it kind of takes away from the real estate of my space.
Mhm. Are you planning on straightening them out or straightening them and using them on one side or making a lower third or are you planning on doing anything like that?
Well, what I have done is I've actually kind of resized them somewhat, and I have taken a little of the excess space that was on the outside border.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's recognizable, but
Well, are
they were
they
a little wider, so I've kind
right?
of thinned them out.
Well, are you planning on still using the circle then?
I was going to maybe use it in some other areas, but as far
Okay.
as in this particular composition with the competitors, I'm going to take the circle out.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we had mentioned about it was that it's a nice element, and then we sort of don't see it again for a while, and then it's up, and then it's gone, and there's sort of you want to use it in the same sort of place so that we have an idea of when we're going to see it, and why we're seeing it at one time as opposed to in another place. So you can't just pick and choose which sort of what elements you're going to use when. You kind of need to have an idea, an arrangement of when they're going to show.
Hmm. Well,
So
is it too much to keep that around all frames?
I don't think
I,
so. I think that how you do it is different. Like we had mentioned, before, like if you took off one side, you would increase the real estate. So if
Mm-hmm.
it always was on one side, it would always be there, or always at the bottom and straight, it would be there. Or
I
if it was
see.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
straight at the bottom and then sometimes on the side. I mean, you can do that. I don't think it's a problem for it to always be on screen, or at least for the vast
Mhm.
majority of time. I don't think it's a problem.
Okay. Just like for instance here when I'm presenting the objectives, I feel that it doesn't need to be in this particular composition.
And I would
It
say
just
that what you have going for you is that the third part of it has your color scheme in it, has the same colors right here.
mm-hmm.
Um, but be careful. I mean, and it's not on screen too long. So if that whole section it wasn't there, you'd be okay. But what do y'all think?
Again, felt that there was that stark contrast between the sophistication of the beginning and then to this confining little section. It's very sudden, I guess. I do like the curve, so maybe you could keep the curvature of the ring on the left there and just bring the um, pattern on the left hand side. Fade it in, pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I,
here.
I agree with that because, if you think about circles and the way that you're utilizing them, it's confining everything that's inside of it. And then
Yeah.
when you have an object that's like the rectangle that appears inside of that circle, it just creates such visual tension that it doesn't carry the sophisticated feel that you're trying to evoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, consider if you're going to use it, go ahead and make sure that whatever someone's viewing is taking up that entire section. One unified color, one unified object, instead of having objects just kind of sitting inside this big circle being contained.
Right.
Eric,
Okay.
does that make you happier?
Shoppers?
Shoppers. It's not females, it's female jewelry shoppers. So people who buy female jewelry.
Hmm.
Stretching?
Is that worded improperly?
No,
No,
well,
I
Eric has
had
been saying that this is not a female, but it's
Right.
female jewelry shoppers. So a man would buy female jewelry. A man would buy a ring for his wife. You
well, that's
see?
what the next target demographic is for.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to slide over to the female. I think I got my
So the
timing off a
fact that
little
this is
bit
a
on this
male
one.
is the problem.
No, that
Well, a
that could be
male
a
would buy. I
male.
don't know. I think either gender would buy either gender jewelry. So
Right,
Yeah.
but
I'm not
her
sure if it.
personas are a woman that would buy herself jewelry, which is the female jewelry shopper, and then the male who would buy jewelry for the significant other.
Well, I don't think. I think either gender would buy jewelry for either gender. So I don't know that it's important that either one of those be particularly a male or a female. The fact that it says shopper is sort of the important part.
Just some
But
food for thought. This
yeah.
was Eric's feeling.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's one of those things that threw me off.
Okay.
Well, because I think it felt like it's like, well, that's not a female, but it says age group 25-35 female, but then it's a jewelry shopper,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
which I was thinking the same thing he was until I stopped it on that and I saw, oh wait, that says something else on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I may have to work with that a little bit.
Also consider adding in some of your elements from your branding campaign into this section. That
Mm-hmm.
way it gets a more unified look.
Yeah, there's a real
Yeah.
difference in the look because you don't have this anywhere else.
Right, right.
And,
I got
and
a
they're standing on
really
a
good.
world, on the map of the world, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's sort of got a
Isn't it?
global corporation feel to it, which is different than jewelry shopping.
Yeah, that's
That would
true.
be a perfect place to use your circle, like that
Mm-hmm.
we've been creating.
Bringing focus in on your target demographics.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Abby left me a very good constructive student reply, and I just haven't had a chance to acknowledge it, but she addressed that also in her
What's going on?
Reverb.
post.
Are y'all okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this is some serious echo.
Who
Can
is
I hear it?
Yeah, that's really weird.
I don't
I
hear
can
it.
hear myself. That's so weird.
Echo.
you don't hear it?
It's
I don't
bouncing.
hear it. Is it me?
Boing, boing.
No,
I
No,
hear
at the
it.
top it was
I hear it
echoing.
echo.
Is it because
but
we
I
have
don't
on
hear it when
earphones?
Professor Argo talks. I don't hear it at all when he talks.
No, no.
Not when he talks, but I hear it when you talk. I hear it when I talk.
Yeah.
Dun dun.
Argo, what'd you do?
What happened?
It could be coming through my speaker,
Do
Could
that.
be.
but all of a sudden is a
Headphones.
little odd.
Headphones.
Now I hear it.
Mm. Sounds like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I think
Jason.
it's me. Y'all talk to Kim, and I will go get my earbuds.
Okay.
Friday the
That
13th
sounded like-
pumpkin.
Oh, sorry. Uh,
Kim, what do you want to know? What do you have questions about? We'll have to open this conversation up.
oh, okay. Well, after last week's meetings and interjections and so forth, I made revisions, and obviously, you see from the very beginning, I changed having the ring kind of rendering in that captures the essence of the actual campaign book. So
Mhm.
I made those changes, and
Not very nice.
then of course the color palette I've added, and just some additional changes. I have my visuals, which I'll have up here probably tomorrow.
Yeah, see like where it's playing right there in the video? You have those squares that look like they're just being forced in there.
So at this point, and I haven't been able to bring like a background image behind that text, so it's more visual.
Just create a solid layer.
Yeah, I just haven't had a
So-
chance to do that. I was going to do that.
Kim,
hmm
why not make the files a ping file so that way you
Transparent.
won't compete with the square look and the round look?
And I'll just have transparent backgrounds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it was transparent backgrounds, you wouldn't have to worry about all your things that are on squares or rectangles. You know what I mean?
hmm
However, you would have to worry about the black and the white background.
Right.
If she cut it out in Photoshop and saved it as a PNG, she wouldn't have to.
Are you talking about the that section where I have the fonts?
Yes. And
Yes.
the logo.
Yeah, see what I do is I have it all in SPSD files, and then I import them into After Effects, and then I work with, my effects in there as far as timing and fading in and so forth.
Okay, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, Professor Argo, can you hear us?
Go ahead.
Can you go to
Can you
115?
rewind it back to where Joe was saying the square goes into it's like tight in the circle and
115.
Yeah. Got the number down and all, right? Okay, Kim, right here.
Mhm.
Why couldn't this be a transparent file? That way, it won't
And you froze.
circle.
You froze.
Robot Lori.
Frozen.
Ah,
Exactly.
okay. I think we all should just say goodnight.
Oh, I think I understand what you're trying to say, Lori. In other words, just take the white background out and just have instead of the text being white, have it black. I mean, the other way around.
Yeah,
The other way
that's what
around.
I gotcha.
It's been a long day, guys.
Hey, I've been up for 26 hours now. So
Yeah, but Joe, you
Wow.
don't
I'm feeling it.
sleep.
Joe.
Joe never sleeps. I'm telling you,
Um,
that man is a
I'm telling you.
workaholic.
Joe, I don't sleep either.
Me either.
All right,
Functioning on 5
Kim, but
hours.
if you changed everything that's black to white,
hmm
what about the ring? Well, how would it look on a black background? Would that make it pop or would it make it dull? I mean, there's so many things, there's factors that you got to think about here.
hmm
Well,
You
there's
know.
times for black and there's times for white.
Okay,
As
so
long as
right,
it as
exactly.
long as it's balanced enough, then everything is good.
Mhm.
But
So you're saying that because I thought before, Professor Argo, that you had a problem with she needs to make up her mind, decide whether she's going to use the black round black or the round white.
well,
So are you
in
saying
in terms of balance, yeah. I mean, when
right?
you need to determine for this, are you going to go with white or are you going to go with black? You should go with white here.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, if the whole front is all black and then there's a bunch of white in the middle and there's a little bit more black, it's going to be unbalanced. It's not going to feel right.
Right. Yeah. I know. I was trying to
Um,
keep a
yeah.
consistency.
So if she goes with the white background, then you don't need to change the file to a transparent file. You can
Right.
just
Right.
make it white like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Long as it's not looking like you're trying to cram a square or a rectangle into the circle. If the background is the same color, you won't see none of that.
Okay. I see
Do
what
you
you're
have any
saying.
other questions?
At this point, I guess I came in when you were just going over the very beginning of the color palette, when I had the multicolored gems.
Mhm.
You've got one set of gems that doesn't, I mean, really nice colors, but it has a different feel than your actual,
Right there.
yeah, right there. Gems are
Mhm.
nice, it just, I don't know.
Well, and this
Well, I
isn't
know
part
they're
of
I'm
your
not
gonna,
the
color palette.
right. That's why I
yeah,
use those as opposed to the clear diamond ones because this is going into the color palette.
I would consider um,
Changing to
taking
it.
your graphic element, either whatever you decide to use, the half circle or the straight line that's in the very beginning, and add that to it to add more visual cohesion to it.
Okay. Right.
There is this area that Joe mentioned. Where was that? I think it's right in here. Like this says fonts, logo, and typeface. But then we go into that. Are you using that as a section divider?
Somewhat, yeah, it leads into that section.
And just
So
I
like
think
with
you
that's
game
what's
can.
to
development,
come. Yeah.
I think you could probably make better use of that time there to either give more information or create more visual interest. I'd consider revising that to give more information.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, you can make better use of that time. Um, do you need to put all three of them up at once and then be done with it, or not even have it as a section divider, possibly? Um, yeah, like you do it for the competitors. You have the and then competitors, and it takes up a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just had a heading that said competitors, then you're saving time by having it all on the same place at the same time.
I see.
So I think in the same way that you can use a header here, and then show your fonts, that kind of thing. Also, when you get to the fonts, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s are showing up better than your actual font choices. So you would probably want to consider making Helvetica, Edwardian script, and Baskerville larger and shrinking the size of the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, or realigning them or something of that nature, so that you can focus on what the name of the script is, the name of the
Mm-hmm.
font. And you've
Okay.
got this hand drawing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's probably more distracting than it needs to be. It's an interesting idea, but you don't use it elsewhere, right?
Well, I might
Okay.
because I'm still, doing the other portions, and when I get into the actual artistic part with the mood boards and my tool box and so forth, I may use it there.
The only argument that I would add to that, Kim, is that you don't really have any other humanistic video anywhere else really in here.
Right.
That's the only thing that kind of throws it off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you add more of it, then it could probably work. But as a single asset by itself,
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Oh, I
probably
see what
try
you're
to.
saying. I see what you're saying because
Yeah.
this is more material items as opposed to people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And even
and
when you
it
show people
Other
before,
than
they're
this.
silhouettes, they're
yeah.
graphics,
Yes. Yes.
So
Okay.
I think that that's really the that's hitting the nail on the head right there. Is that this piece is about industrial technological sophistication, and not about warm and touchy and all that kind
It's
of
about
stuff.
what
So
we do better, not
yeah,
about those people.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it just sort of feels a little out of place that there's a video of people in there.
Oh, okay. So even the presentation with the target audience and that doesn't quite work, does it?
No, the target audience works because it's a
Okay.
graphic.
It's
They're
impersonal.
yeah, it's impersonal. There's not that
Okay. Yeah, because they're
human
just vector
reality.
images.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
As soon as you
Okay.
add a face or something, or you add anything that's considered live, that's automatically going to give that humanistic feel to it.
Hmm.
Okay. I gotcha.
You can have anything shape-wise that resembles a human, but we won't get that emotional bond immediately.
Okay.
To wrap it up, at the
Great.
end,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, you guys.
is your tagline "the possibilities are endless" or "the possibilities are limitless"?
Well, the tagline is limitless possibilities, but also I've used the possibilities are endless. Kind of
Okay,
go together.
okay.
No, don't do
Hmm.
that. If your tagline is limited
Hmm.
possibilities, then stick with limited
Yeah.
possibilities.
Okay.
Yeah,
Limitless.
Alrighty.
don't
I was
change that
wondering
up.
about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
Yeah,
addressing
you
that,
should
Heather.
Yeah.
not change the tagline.
And
Once
you
you do
should
it, that's it's
use the
final.
same font that you use for your tagline.
Mm-hmm.
You should only change your tagline if you're changing your campaign.
Yep.
It's a little late to do that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
shame too.
and just
So,
just to reiterate what we went over in the last go-to meeting, the evidence of the skeleton should be gone by the end of the week.
Oh, yeah, it will
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it should feel pretty close to done if possible.
I put
Okay.
in extra skeleton elements
Okay.
just for you, Argo. Put in a bunch for
Joe,
you.
you are down to third now. Okay. All
I'll
right.
take fourth.
Joe,
That way it's like I make a comeback. What?
that's right. Big comeback.
Now, does this have to be completely done Sunday?
Well, the original idea
Trick
here
question.
is that you need yeah, it needs to feel pretty done. There just needs to be a couple of tweaks is the idea. Just a couple of tweaks, in the last week. Some, you don't want to leave too much. The idea is that you'll be thinking, trying to get it fixed, trying to get it finished. So you'll think it's finished, you'll feel like it's finished, and then we'll find some tweaks that need to happen and you'll have time to do it, as opposed to thinking, well, I'll leave that for next week. And then we get into next week and then you end up with more problems than you can fix in the last few days. That's the idea. But, but you do have next week to work on it. So,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
yeah,
I was gonna ask.
it works
Okay.
differently for different people. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah.
yeah. Can we do Jasmine next because Jasmine hasn't been in here? So,
Yeah.
Well, hers is next.
oh,
That's it. I forgot to mention, Professor Marsh says hello, and he will see you all at graduation.
oh,
And Kim, are you coming to graduation?
No, I'm not going to be able to get out there.
Okay.
I would love to, but
We
Stacy
post that on
Wilson
Monday.
posted something new? No?
I don't.
I don't think so.
No.
The next person is Jasmine.
Scott didn't post anything new. Where are you, folks?
No, I need to get mine too.
Uh,
I'm having trouble all day with
oh,
this
okay.
stupid thing.
You're still working?
Yes. It's not loading.
Lindsay Williams, did Ryan ever help you with your problem?
We didn't end up being able to figure out what was wrong, so I've just been working around it since then.
That's exactly what I did. I worked around it, and
I missed it. What
Yeah.
what was wrong with it, Lindsay?
So I
so
can't import
much.
my Illustrator files as layer, like it won't import all my layers. So I had, and it won't import my clipping masks. So I had everything built, or not in Illustrator, sorry, in Photoshop. So I had everything built in Photoshop, but then I couldn't import it to animate it in Premiere, and we couldn't figure it out. I thought it was like a color space thing, and we did updates. He took over my computer, and he said he'd never seen anything like it before and wasn't quite sure what was going on. So
I never did call him. I just worked around it. Mine was making one image. All of the images look the same as one image.
yep,
Yeah, cinnamon.
it was very strange. So
And we thought it had
just
something to do with Mavericks, right?
no, I haven't.
What did we think it had to do
She
with?
didn't have it.
I don't have
Color
Mavericks
space?
on there. I have Mavericks on my other Mac, but not the school Mac.
No, he thought it was a color space issue because like it was.
Oh.
I was like, oh, maybe I just wasn't like I needed to have it in RGB, but that didn't make a difference because I realized I had the images in.
They didn't okay Mavericks yet. They're still checking it out.
That's what I hear. They haven't told us to update, and they usually do that.
Well, I opened up all these programs on my Big Mac and nothing's wrong. Everything is fine. I've worked in every one of them.
Well, I was asking Lindsay because, as everybody knows, I've been struggling with just trying to understand what was going on. So if you had a problem and I missed it, I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
I
I
understood
don't have
what
an
it was.
answer for you if you're having that problem.
No, not yet.
If somebody figures out how to import 3D objects from Photoshop into After Effects, that'd be awesome.
I have no idea.
Oh wow.
Get your life, Joe.
I got it. It's in my hands right now.
Get on a Google Hangout after this, Joe.
Yeah, let's hang out.
You trying to keep me up? Oh.
So, Jackie, what you have so far does give me that feeling of clean, like cleaning
Oh,
up.
yes.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
nothing is rushed, nothing is too fast.
Nothing.
Those little, tilting of the text, it gives you that
Soothing.
feeling of cleanliness and that's something progress and cleaning.
I do
So,
question the white bars on the sides.
Okay, so I was waiting for someone to ask me about those little blue bars. And
No,
white
not the
bars?
blue ones, the white ones.
Right.
Oh, well then I don't have
Far
an
left,
answer
far
for that.
right.
I was ready for those blue ones. I was like, yes.
Gotcha!
No, I don't know anything about the white bars. I don't know why it's doing that.
In the beginning, when you have the images that come on that have the drop shadow on the bottom,
hmm
do you mean for them to
They look puckered.
wait? They are. It's a technique that they use in Pages, I think.
Yeah.
But my question is, sorry, I'm eating Hershey's. Do you mean for them to blend into the background?
Yes. I
Yeah,
wanted them
it
to look
does.
like photos that were floating, so the shadow, I wanted it to kind of blend in a little bit.
Okay, it's after this, Professor Argo.
You're
Oh,
first.
no, I
Yeah.
didn't mean for
the
those.
competitors,
Keep going. Wait, is it?
it's the
The
competitors.
competitors.
It's the competitors. Yes, it's the competitors.
Yeah, I didn't mean for them to do that.
Okay.
But what I thought was important was for me to get the actual information into the project first and then go back and try to figure out why they were blending like that.
And also, you cannot see your logo that well.
The focus ink on the, hold on, you
Yeah,
can't see
you
my
can't see
fingers
it
on
that
the
well.
bottom. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's sort of the purpose.
Yeah,
It is.
no,
It was
but I'm
supposed to be
saying,
transparent,
yeah,
but is it too clear?
Go.
I know it's the purpose.
Uh-huh.
However, you should be able to see it, like Professor Baldowski said.
See it,
Not,
see it.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I know what
I know
you're
that's
saying,
the
but that's what
purpose.
I'm asking. Is it too transparent?
See,
Should I
when
bring
I
it up a
did
little
mine,
bit?
like, okay, see, I don't get you, Professor Argo, because mine is like just like that, and you said something about mine, but now you're saying that's the purpose. I'm like,
Well,
don't make me say
we'll
what I'm
get
really
to
saying.
yours. We'll get to yours then. Okay. Maybe I'll clarify myself.
Depending
But
on the program you use,
No,
depends
I'm
on
not
your
going to.
asset.
I'm just saying. I think it could be a little bit darker. I like it like how she has it, but just a little, like
I
a
agree because
pinch.
you can't even make
Okay.
out the actual brand mark of it.
Is the
Okay, I mean,
Short answer, it needs to be subtle enough that you can see it clearly with no questions asked, but
I know you
where it
ain't
does
talking
not
about short
compete
answers, Joe.
any assets. There we go.
Wait a
um,
minute. Wait. I got to rewind here. Joe, I
Okay.
know you just didn't jump in here talking about short answers when none of
Short
your answers were
answers.
short.
I'm sleepy.
You better go to bed then, because I'm about to read you, okay?
um,
Uh-uh.
okay, Jasmine, are you planning on using it over this background in this particular space through the entire video?
Yes, that was going to be
Okay.
the constant, the stripes in that.
Okay. Um, then Lori's point, well taken, that you could darken that a bit.
Okay.
So you don't want it to steal focus necessarily, but
Uh,
you can go darker if it's going to stay in one place throughout the whole thing and it's going to be on that background, yes.
Okay.
Um, it feels a little awkwardly placed to me. Did you try shrinking it just a bit and putting it down next to your green?
That was going to be my next statement.
I thought it was too small and that you wouldn't be able to see it, but
Which is a possibility.
if I
Exactly.
darken
You
it, you might
darken
be
it.
able to see it.
Right.
And
And it
yes, I
gives
did
you
think
more
about that.
room to make, and it gives you more room to make the other things bigger. Now, I
Yes.
meant that you want those to blend in with your background right there, the competitor things.
No, I didn't, but that's what I was
Oh.
saying in the beginning, which was they were supposed to fit like the pictures in the beginning,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
I think what I ended up doing was hitting the multiply for the blending option, and
Oh,
that's what made it come through like that. And instead
oh,
of me going back to changing it, I figured I should just keep working on the project, make note, and go back and change it, considering
Why do you want them to have that background on there and look like square pictures?
Warped pictures.
And if so, why
I
are they
didn't,
different? Like the middle one looks different than the two other ones.
because it's a different picture. Like in
Yeah.
the beginning, those three different pictures,
Uh
those are the
huh.
same shapes of the pictures.
But those are
It wasn't
pictures.
intention, right? It wasn't. Those are supposed to be pictures too. It wasn't intentional for them to be that way. When I realized that it did that, instead of me changing it, I just kept working, and I just made note to go back and change them.
But they're logos, not pictures.
No,
So,
their
I mean,
logos in a picture.
well, there's a picture on there, or is it white background?
It's white background. It looks just like if you go back a
Right.
couple of
So
seconds
you're
with the people, take the people out and put a logo in their place.
well, right.
So if I took,
But these are
but it's not a
pictures.
picture, is what he's saying. It's not a
Yeah.
picture.
oh,
These
okay,
are these are pictures, and then you put them in a frame, and
Right.
that's
hmm
fine. They look like pictures. That makes sense. But
In
these
your
are
first,
logos, and if you want you want your page to be clean, they're better off just being the
without
logos
it.
like you have them
Right,
without the
Joe.
background on them.
Okay, I'm following. I was just like, I'm framing them in the picture frame.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
All right.
I get. Give
So
me a
why are
couple of
you why
seconds.
are
I'm a
you
little slower.
why are you framing them? Because you didn't frame things in your book.
No, which I will add this in with the blue stripes. Remember when I was doing the first three different drafts for the book and I had the stripes in them?
Mm-hmm.
When I finally turned it in, it didn't have the stripes. I revised the book and it does have stripes. So I put the stripes in the video.
So you did a book that we didn't even see?
didn't you have them going
I
at?
told you guys I was busy the last week. I
I'm
was
just kidding.
working. I've
My
been
God.
working. I have been working, but
Yeah,
that was
but
part
we
of the
don't we
consistency.
trying to graduate. We ain't trying to look back in the class. What's wrong with you?
I want it to look good. You know that is my problem. Is
No,
that
this is life. We ain't
I
trying to
can't
go
just turn
backwards
it
in no
in to be
class.
turning it in. It has to look right.
Girlfriend, no.
That's what I told you this morning. I was stressing
Lori, you're
Send
because
me a link because I'm not going back and looking in the class, honey. Send me a link.
Well, Jasmine,
Okay.
as a side note, your drop shadows, I would consider toning them down so they're not so dark and spreading them out just a tad bit. It'll give it a little bit cleaner and softer look.
Is that the short version, Joe?
I tried to.
Okay, that's real good.
the drop shadows don't bother me, but I did notice that your first picture, the way you've skewed it versus your other two, you did it differently. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I did notice that.
that is turned this way.
Yeah, like it has them on these sides instead of the top and bottom. And
Yeah,
then
they were just turned in different diagonals. They were just turned differently. That's all.
I just didn't know
But the
if you wanted, because like now you have two the same and one off. I didn't know if you wanted them all the same or maybe make them all different. I don't
And
know.
because you brought it up,
Jasmine,
I will change it because that means that someone else noticed it, but it didn't bother me.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
care. I purposely because at first the pictures were stacked in a funny way
Mm-hmm.
together, so
Oh,
it looked like
okay.
pictures together, and I ended up not liking
Mm-hmm.
it, so I spread it out, and they just are still
Gotcha.
in that same direction. But if you brought it up,
No
that means
worries.
that
I
you
just
noticed it.
noticed it.
Someone else will notice it, so I'll change it.
and Jasmine, you have room to blow up all your things that we see so far. That you can make them bigger, right? Am I right?
You're
Like
right.
your images, you have
Mm-hmm.
room to play with, like to blow them up bigger. Make them. I'm sorry, scale them. I guess I
Scale
should
them
use
up.
graphic terms, right?
I'll take that.
Blow them up, bang!
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
You just have to understand. I was happy
Bada
that
boom.
I was just
I like
ecstatic that you can hear the music. That it
Just
wasn't
as about to
black.
comment on your music, it is very tranquil. Like I'm about to fall
That's
asleep.
great. Thank
Yeah, I
Eric,
had to stop
stop
listening to it. I gotta be honest.
As long
it.
as there was music, because in
Your
the beginning,
logo.
remember it was all black. It was no music. I couldn't get it to do anything. So
Okay, so
I will
we're proud of
make
you.
it
We're
bigger.
proud of you.
Good job.
I'll
It's a
make it bigger.
struggle. It's a
Scale.
struggle. We're proud of you,
Oh wait.
right?
Okay. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a
Very
good
good.
job.
Even your logo. Make your logo bigger.
There you go.
There you go. Good
Okay.
job.
And he said it.
I'll
Hmm.
finish. I am still working on it, of course, so because it's definitely not finished.
It's a challenge.
But
I know. Can we
So
check it? Can I?
I'm behind.
you don't have the majority of it done, but you're planning on using the same background and keeping it clean and simple all the way through. So we don't have any surprise. I mean, like if you use text, you're going to use this font and it'll be nice and legible like that, correct?
Yep,
Mhm.
And
and
if it's
big.
not a picture, it
It won't be framed.
won't be framed.
Mhm.
Okay. All
Oh
right.
no.
Well, I think you're headed there then.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That's
I'm
That's
just
a good way
reminds
to
me of Kane's
keep it clean.
thing. The background looks like Kane's arcade.
Oh
It
yeah.
does not.
Oh.
It does not because when I saw the different textures that I was using, I
Oh
did
my
come across
goodness.
cardboard and I decided against the cardboard.
Y'all are
This
giving me a
is
headache tonight.
natural. This
She
is
has a headache
natural
tonight. She has
recycled
a headache tonight.
paper linen. That is linen.
Excuse me, girlfriend, but it reminds me of Kane's arcade, okay?
Right.
Recycled linen.
Okay.
Argo, what's going on here? We need to serve some wine or something.
We do.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a headache.
Raul, nothing there. Okay.
Mm.
Forsyth?
No.
No, no Forsyth.
Tiff,
She's going to be
she's not here, is she?
posting
She's here.
responses to people. Is she here?
Tiffany? She's not here.
No.
I thought she was here. Did she pop off? That
Maybe
happened
she
to me
came in
last
late.
I
week.
never saw her, but if that happens.
I know her son was sick yesterday.
Aw,
I didn't talk to her.
Yeah.
never fun.
He gets bad migraines, so sometimes
Oh yeah.
it's a no can do for her.
Somebody
I mean,
posted 21 minutes ago.
Woo woo.
Oh, wow.
All right, Lori.
uh, I'm not going to say one word because I really seriously developed this nasty headache like 10 minutes ago.
Relax.
So sorry. Maybe it's the chocolate.
I
Don't
think
hate
it's
Lindsay
my
because you can't
cardboard
eat
that
my
she's
chocolate.
hating on.
Don't hate Lindsay because you can't eat my chocolate. Don't say that. Maybe it's the
I don't
chocolate.
hate, but it can make the headache.
No, it's not. No, don't do that to me.
I
like
thought it
that.
actually opened up the capillaries, but whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's lack of sleep. That's what it is.
Ah.
And Margo, I talked to Dawn about the music,
Uh huh.
and Dawn said that the copyright issues took place after we chose the music that we chose for our.
Well,
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm not finished. I'm not
yeah.
finished.
Go ahead.
He said it took place after we chose the music that we chose for our campaigns.
Mhm.
However, um, it's it's in such a late time of the program that we could still use it. It's just that our um, video won't get viewed.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be
He
showcased.
sent your email and his response to you to the department.
Right.
And if the program director says you can grandfather in, then you can grandfather in. But
But
just for the record, that was nothing. That's not new.
No.
So no points, whatever. I mean, if you're going to use that, you can use that. But like he said, you can't promote it. You can't use it for portfolio work. It can only be posted here, and then you get the grade and you're done with it. So.
right. So that's why I've been diligently
Hmm.
trying to find other music. And actually, I called my producer friend today to find out if he could actually see if I could have clearance for Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys.
Uh-huh.
Wow, cool.
But I'm still waiting. I'm afraid that I'm not going to get the information back in time. So I'm still trying to find other music.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, it's something that was brought up in discussion when that came out, and then of course the entire department converged and talked about it.
Mhm.
And it was brought up that is it the lyrics that are really working, or is it the music that's really working? Because it would appear, it seems, that the strength of that song is in the lyrics,
Yes, it is.
and that makes it very difficult to use because you're using lyrics.
Right.
So, it's tough to be tied to the music, to when you're looking for music, always hear that one song and think, why can't I get something like that song? So, I don't know how to help you with that idea, but it'd be great if you could sort of get the song out of your head and think what would sound good here, or maybe just
That's
pick
what I've
some
been
things and
doing.
try them out.
That's
Well,
what I've
but
been doing.
but you're not posting them and then letting the class hear them.
I can't find any. That's what my point was when I first said it. I haven't found any. I've just been looking.
Okay,
Am I right, Eric? He's been helping me. We've been looking, listening, listening,
but
listening over and
okay,
over.
and well, what are you listening for? What are you trying to
Oh,
hear?
seriously, Margot.
Well, be frustrated. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? But
Upbeat
I'm not
happiness
being
that doesn't
frustrated. I
sound.
upbeat.
think I'm
I
listening
mean,
to.
there's plenty. I mean, there's plenty of
Without too
upbeat
many
music.
techno synths, because a lot of free songs out there have some serious techno synths going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do. I don't like that either.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
don't
because
know.
that
I was
tempo
on
going
West
for.
Star Music for like days before I found my track.
And that's exactly what's happening to me. Days. I have it up right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
biggest issue is you have an idea in your head of what you'd like it to
Right.
sound like, and you're never gonna get it. And if you do, it's amazing. I
That's
usually
not what I'm going for. I'm just branching out, listening to all kinds of different things to say, that might work. That might hit it, because it doesn't need to be too fast. It doesn't need to be too slow because it needs to be uplifting.
well, you can
It's
also
not easy. You're
retime it
absolutely right.
as well. You can also, if you find a music track that's like a little bit longer than you need, you can speed it up and get that beat up to where you want it.
Right.
True.
But at the
I
same
know.
point in time, to save yourself some time, what I did is I got 10 songs that I felt could possibly work, and then I just sent them out to people. And was like, hey, what do you think? Let me know.
Yeah.
Right. So what did
So,
you say, Argo, about the upbeat?
Well,
I said,
Eric had said you were looking. I said, "What are you looking for?" And then Eric said, "Upbeat,
yeah.
Uplifting.
uplifting."
if
Yeah, uplifting, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I mean,
While not
but not
being too.
spiritual, I guess.
No,
Movie
because it needs to be like
soundtracks.
an empowerment type of thing.
Hmm.
Girl power.
Kind of like what's her name that sings Star, that type of beat.
Um,
Soiree.
I don't know who that
You know that Crystal Light commercial?
yes, I don't know who sings that.
is.
I can't think of her name. She's one of my people that I have in the music. It needs to be a nice beat to it. It can't be something that sounds sad and depressing because that's not where we're trying.
Probably
You're
feels
looking for
good.
something that's powerful, that's uplifting, still
Yes, and
feminine.
it's hard to follow "Girl on Fire" music. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
hard.
but is again
But I think that's what
that's why
he's
I was
saying.
saying, is it the
Get
music
the
or is it the words? Because if you take the lyrics out of "Girl on Fire," it's
Still,
bump, 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 bump,
no,
bump.
It's
still,
not the same feeling.
it's not the same. I already did that. I used to be in the studio. I'm very aware of music.
Right,
Very
and
aware.
so that's what I'm
it's
saying.
the
It's like,
lyrics.
it's the
It's
lyrics
both.
that are
It's both. It's both. It
uh,
does it with both, but the words are the ones that make it powerful.
right.
And I'm gonna stand my ground on this until I hear the music I want. It won't be in that video. So
Okay,
I'm not gonna pop anything in there and go, guys, what do you think? No, she don't work like that. No.
okay. Um, keep working on it.
Uh,
You got regular spelled wrong here.
Regular.
oh, okay. Thank you.
Your Argyle looks fantastic.
I finally managed to get it going. On the side you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Comments for Lori?
I've been sitting here waiting for this to load.
Ooh.
Lori, we haven't gotten to it yet, and I like that you split these apart for your SWAT section so you can read them a line at a time. That was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That particular fade where you go from the images to the differentiation part, that seems, I think, a little fast or something. Like all your other fades are so nice. Um, and this one seems kind of strange or fast. I feel
Yeah,
like.
you're right. You're right, Lindsay, because I was just working on this before I posted it to the discussion board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I looked at the time and I said, "Oh my God, it's almost time for class." You're right.
No,
Very good pick.
no, I totally understand. And then the next section, we haven't gotten to it yet, but your scroll through like your website and your mobile apps, that's just a little bit fast.
Yeah, I haven't even touched that yet.
Yeah, so
None of
those are
these,
just,
like I don't want like this is not going to be a JPEG because I think it should be see-through.
I
So
think
you
so
see
too.
what I'm saying? So I'm going accordingly.
Yep.
I think you'll be
Mhm.
fine with all your animations once you get your music track in there, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's what my problem is. I keep bouncing back and forth because I'm stressed over getting this music in here and my voice over.
Mm.
Mhm.
Those two things are really getting to me. So I'm stopping and then I'm checking, listening to like 20 pages of music at a time and then going back and
That's what I did the whole first week.
it's
That's why I
just,
didn't have anything done really.
I mean, has anybody ever done an Argo without music?
Uh,
They haven't, and you could. It doesn't show the audio that you've picked for the piece, but you could do the whole video without it.
I could
I
have
mean,
sworn there was one that did just narration and no audio.
well, there's
Or maybe it
It's
was
well,
actually
vice
no
versa.
music.
possible.
Yeah.
Godfather's Pizza might have, but he used sound effects as well. So the idea is that you use audio. So if you use sound effects,
Got you.
you could do that. If you use narration, great. So you don't have to use music, but music shows the music that you've chosen. It's another dynamic piece. But if you've got a couple of sound effects and you've got narration, the narration would serve as your voice and tone, like a voiceover would. And Jasmine would like to say something.
I
No, I
understand
actually
what
had
you're
a question.
saying.
I wanted to
Okay.
wait till you were done. I had a question about the
Okay.
music.
Uh huh.
In the beginning, you asked Lori if it was the lyrics or if it was the music that was grabbing her.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, because the answer was lyrics, we all kept pushing toward, well, what are you looking for? Maybe you should look for something like this. In the case that she said it was the music, would it be acceptable for her to use the instrumental? Not suggesting that's what she do, but
If
the reason I'm
if
asking,
she has the right to use that particular music, I even thought as we were sitting here, I don't know about the rights on karaoke, but I'm sure there's a karaoke version.
Which is why I
So,
was gonna ask
There
about
is.
yeah.
instrumental
There is.
because
I heard it on YouTube. There is one.
So, I don't know what the rights are in terms of. I don't know if all karaoke is allowed to be used for these purposes, or if it's only allowed to be used for
Probably
karaoke.
not.
Um,
Professor Argo, the reason why I asked, the reason why I asked my producer friend to find out that information for me is
mhm.
because Alicia Keys was in court with that song.
Oh
So
yeah.
if there's a big, big mess around it, I don't want to touch it anyway.
Right.
But he's in the industry, so he could find out before I could. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, there was a big issue at court with that song.
Hmm.
So that's why I've been diligent trying to really find something else, in case if there is something wrong.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, last month for Cheryl Monteclaro, it was, a big alert came up on YouTube and locked her video because I guess it has to do with the court case. So
Can happen.
Hmm.
um, she found different music, and her music was, a little more techno sounding now that you mention it, but um, so was her whole campaign. Your whole
Yeah.
campaign is a little softer, has a fabric feel to it, and hers was more science and mathematics oriented, so it had a little
Right.
bit more of a technological feel to it.
And mine is because I didn't want to pull away from them, Girls Inc. When they started after that war, when they had the textile factories and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. That's where you said it. That's where it came into play for me. The whole fabric of it. That's where the texture and everything comes in for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to keep them because they've been very stubborn and changing things. Very, very like stickler to let's keep the Red Girls Inc. And it has a military stencil look.
yeah,
Um,
it does.
and
Mm-hmm.
they've only had two logos since Girls Inc. started.
I
That's
feel like they
really
keep it
bad.
consistent.
That's over 100 and something years old, 149 years, something like
Wow.
that.
2 logos. That's all.
Two logos.
That's
That's it.
unacceptable.
That's impressive.
And then when you get done, 3. Dun
I
dun
know.
Exactly.
dun.
And
Come
so
on, guys.
I just wanted to keep some of the essence of them and not
Mm-hmm.
take away everything, but give it a better, a more uplifting something that screams girls only.
Sure.
Because that other one does not.
Your flash
Hey,
drive is
Lori.
out of focus.
That's the picture. I know. I couldn't find another one that was clear like that one. So
Hey, Lori. In the
Okay, stick
no, I
with
don't
it.
know. Somebody already said this. I was actually just wondering why you chose to bounce the image in the first
yeah,
transitions in the 18 seconds with the speech, because it seems like the speech is, gradual and fading through, and
actually, that's probably an accident. I didn't. You said bounce?
yeah, it's in the first like 16. Hold on,
Bounce.
You're talking about
13
the
sec.
image that sort of zooms down to the side and then sort of comes
Well, they
back
all
over.
kind of just shake around on it, you know,
That?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I probably was just playing around with stuff. I don't know.
just goofing. Okay, I was just wondering. Had to
Okay.
I
ask.
like
So
the
Because I
image
have
that.
a problem with transitions, so I thought I would just mess around with it. I mean, you should have seen it. I had things
Yeah.
going in a circle before, so just playing around with it.
Oh,
Messing
Dory,
around
when you
with it.
see my stuff, you'll be like, "What did he do?" I broke it for like I had this really elaborate transition set up, and I don't know what I did, but somewhere between the 30 layers of After Effects, an entire composition is gone, and it
Oh,
No.
jacked it all up.
oh
So it's
no. Yeah.
assembled, but I don't know. It's it's sketchy. It's
Yikes.
sketchy.
Oh no.
I can fix it eventually.
Okay, so Argo,
Eventually.
I will fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll just probably have to find a different type. Um, and then put the logo on it and just revamp it, redo it or something.
Yeah.
Because it's not clear like all everything else.
No, and that will pop up in a
Yeah.
review easy. I know people will go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, cling, cling, cling. Good catch.
Ding, ding, ding. Good catch.
You can
Your
try to
sound
resample
effects.
it. So you could try to resample it in Photoshop before
I
you
did. I did.
go.
It won't. It didn't. It didn't do it.
Didn't take either.
No, it didn't take.
Oh,
So
it was a shot in the dark.
I'll just have to go get another one and do it.
I don't know if I have one or not. I might have a mock-up. I have to look. If I do, I'll send it to you.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Well, you better hurry up because after class I'm going to find one.
I am trying to pull up Cheryl Monteclaro's because it's really got me. I'm not sure I can remember the music as well.
Oh.
So I'm trying to find it for you.
Oh, but we're not going to be able to hear it, are we?
I can pull out the earbud.
Because I don't want that distraction. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
You know how you can hear somebody else's music and then all of a sudden you want, you find yourself picking that same music.
Mm-mm.
It's a
So you don't want to hear it? I mean,
No,
that's
I
okay if you
don't.
don't want to, but okay,
I can
that's
mute
fine.
it and you can just somebody can make a sign and tell me when it's done.
Well, it's I guess it's not necessary to show it to everybody else. You know, it's your
Why?
campaign, so.
I want to hear it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I knew they would say. I knew somebody would say that.
All right. Well, let's see if I can get it.
We gonna put on.
Gross.
Take a guess.
Lindsay, I'm in a club on your video. I just need to like turn on a strobe light and.
Mine?
Yes,
Ah,
that's true.
nice.
Raise the roof.
I love my music.
Put some lady. Well, no, because me and Eric was dancing to Lady Gaga yesterday.
Oh God, me
Nice.
too.
Yes.
Then-
She's bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy.
Hey, Lori, mute yourself.
Go ahead, I'll do it. I'm just gonna have to readjust. Go ahead.
Identity and positioning by increasing differentiation and highlighting the company's unique brand essence, inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold.
It's very
Girls
disco-esque.
Incorporated is a non-profit
Yeah.
Can't
organization
hear
It's
it.
got a little
that
more funk
focuses
to
on
it.
helping girls ages 6 to 18 break social, economic, and gender barriers by increasing their knowledge and skills in science, technology, engineering, and math. Their target audience is at-risk girls ages 6 to 18, their families, community volunteers, and
Is
female.
there vocals behind that?
I kind of feel like I'm hearing Prince a little bit because it's
Yeah, me
really,
too.
I feel like it's a
I
little.
don't know. There was a
Okay.
female vocal back there reminded me of Ghetto Superstar.
The theme for the project is boldly breaking
Argo.
redirected
Nice.
words
Yes.
to describe the campaign. Bold,
Um. So I'm wondering what was her emphasis on the campaign because I studied Girls Inc. so much that I know the target audience already. I know the smart, bold, and strong. So
Yeah,
what did she change? Like what was different, or did she just bring out the classes? I mean the programs that they have, the research-based programs. Did she just bring that to the forefront?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know enough about Girls Inc. I haven't lived
I
with it,
do.
but yes. But from what her campaign was, it was really STEM. It was really science and
Right.
what's the T in STEM? Technology?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science,
Something in
technology,
mathematics.
I mean, I saw her
engineering.
video. I saw her dynamic mood board
Uh-huh.
by accident. And Professor Rogal told me, don't look at it anymore. Don't get distracted. I said, I'm not. Somebody sent it to me. I didn't know what I was opening up.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I shut it down. I never saw the whole thing, and I never seen it again. but I saw enough to know that she brought forth the programs. So,
Mhm.
hmm.
Okay, everybody, time to get hungry.
Oh yeah.
Must be the burgers.
Burger time.
Yeah, I am. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Well, you guys
start
got to
eating.
tell me if it works or not. I have some other elements that I didn't put in because
Okay, hurry
just
up
didn't.
with the burger thing, because
I didn't.
Yeah, I'm
Wasn't
hungry.
sold on them.
them burgers look so good. I'm just telling you.
Hey Joe, I will say before we start that I don't know why, but I feel like in this video more than the rest, the music was really competing with your voiceover. Just overall, like as a blanket statement.
Hmm.
This one.
Yeah,
Who are you talking to, Lindsay?
Joe.
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 Oh,
Joe.
I don't think I changed the audio at all.
And it could
Not
be I'm
from
just
the.
noticing it now, and I wasn't before, but
I would open it up, but as soon as I do, the computer is gonna shut down. I'll go back and look, but it still
Yeah,
should.
it's definitely fighting with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels louder somehow.
Yeah. And
All right,
the short answer, Joe, is that your
something
narrative
happened.
needs to be shorter, or there needs to be more breaks, because it's just one continuous.
There's
That's my
a
two
couple
cents.
good breaks in there. I was going to space it up a little bit more within the. I was going to probably give a little bit more time to the target audience section to let it linger there.
Okay. So
Um,
let me expand a little bit. You've got some great things on the screen, and there's a lot going on. There's narrative, there's music, there's pretty things to look at.
Yay!
It's a lot.
Kim, do you have any comments?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I had muted myself.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
see it.
Do you have comments?
I don't see it.
I don't see
Yeah,
it.
I
yeah.
can't see anything.
Can you watch it on your own? No?
Mm, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Joe, did you have a shadow on your? You do, don't you? Do you have a shadow on the round things?
Round things, the
The
badge, little
yeah, the
things.
badge
Yeah, well, something happened with the 3D lighting. I don't know.
right
Like I
here.
said, when I had an entire section just disappear on me after it crashed,
Uh-huh.
and when I tried putting it all back together, and then I imported it in, I had this crazy shadow.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yes, I know that needs to be fixed. That's a section where it indicate the different assets and show its capability of being responsive. That won't look like that when in the end.
And by like that, you just mean empty, or
I haven't quite decided just yet.
this is
Well,
awesome.
of course, um, the, it won't have that background, but I'm still debating on if I actually will show somebody like going through building something, or I'm just gonna be really basic.
Are you
It
gonna
really depends on time.
are you gonna bring in some more live elements at
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
end?
bring in
Okay.
the rest of the elements and uh, add. I can add more time to the color palette. I can add more time to the target audience section, and I can cut down the spacing in a few other areas to push it through. Um, I went through and did color correction on that video, added in the bugs, and yeah. So
Okay.
I
I
know
have
with
a
taxes. Sorry, go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead, Lindsay.
There's at like 127, it gets really dark. I just happened to notice that transition when I was watching it. I think it's like
Yeah, I
120.
have a color, a fade to black section that was being utilized for parts of it, and then
Hmm.
um, like this section here, I didn't put it in because I have pretty much have used ribbons, so to say, through almost the entire project, and the thing is that a bunch of ribbons going across looks stupid, so I didn't do that. Um, then I was thinking about doing shorter ones, but then it just becomes a huge block of red. And so if I alternate the colors, it's still a little off. So I'm thinking about removing that section right there and just putting another divider with a burger slowly rotating with just a few key points. So haven't quite decided on that section yet. I want to spruce up the um, logo section. I just haven't quite figured out what to do. I started working on a new map, so that one that looks a little bit more uh, inviting, so to say. So I just haven't had time to finish doing the animations for it.
Joe, can I get you to back up when you said that you had ribbons and it just looked stupid with a bunch of ribbons? What are you calling ribbons?
Okay, that bottom banner down there,
Bottom part.
Right.
you see, that would be a ribbon. You just can't see the edges of it. But like when you
Mm-hmm.
go into some of uh, my assets that I created, you can see them utilized
Right.
there.
I just
So
wanted to make sure we were talking about the same thing, and you're saying it looks stupid.
yeah,
Can
Multiple
you
because if
do
it
ribbons,
it?
she was saying.
yeah, it basically either because to keep the unified look, they all have that stripe in it. So in to create that unified look all the way through, I have to take up an extra, you know, 20%. If you look at like the target audience or any of those banners, you know, to keep proper spacing, I'm using about 40% of that space just in banner usage. And if you try to put the text there, it's really close and it creates just this huge block of red with white text.
Can we
And I
go?
can
Can we?
animate it, but it's
I'm just saying take out the fade to black and make it white, and then you fix. That was really my only comment. It's just that nothing else
oh
fades to
I'm
no,
black.
asking
I
about what he's
understand.
saying
I
about the
understand
ribbon
what you're
because
talking
my
about.
Well, now I'm
suggestion would
confused.
be
I thought you were saying that you were going to use a lot of ribbons all on one shot as some kind of transition.
Well, that's what I was thinking about doing. And
Oh,
then
okay. That's too
after I
that's too much detail then. You're right. That's
yeah,
what it is. Too
it's
busy.
add if I put even if I minimized it down to say 3 ribbons, okay, but still the amount of space that would be required, the font size would be at best maybe a 16, 20 point. I mean, that's really pushing it, and that would compete with that bottom ribbon right there. Even zooming it in and letting that other one fade out, it's going to take up a lot of real estate.
Mhm.
and I'm still a little confused as to what you're saying because in my mind I see it working, and it's one of those situations that I don't want to keep harping on it, but I really think that it's a good idea.
It's a
You
What I'm
think
great
you
seeing,
idea.
think what is showing right now is a good idea, Jasmine? Is that what you mean?
no, I don't
No.
like what it was showing right there. I think the ribbon part that he's saying would look stupid. I think it would be a good idea, just depending on how it's executed. And I want to give an example of how I think it would work, but I'm trying to first see what he's saying would look stupid, but I can't see it. And it's sort of like in the example with Lori with the music. Well, put up the music and let us tell you what we think of it. I feel like I kind of need to see the ribbon to tell you, like, okay, yeah, you're right, that is stupid.
Essentially,
Versus,
what you see
Okay.
down there at the bottom,
Good point.
that lower
right.
third, just imagine 4 or 5 of those moving directly up, equally spaced. And then if you added and that's if it takes up the full whole 900, 1920. Now, if you shrink it in and you add the curved beveled edges, basically, where it gives
Mm-hmm.
where it gives those ripples, then that's going to add at least another 20% to the depth of it as far
Mm-hmm.
as to the bottom. So then you have to create even more spacing between them. So
Do you have
you're
to show them all at the exact same time?
once
Because if you
in
got rid of
that
the
comes
bottom ribbon and you've already introduced what it is, that bottom ribbon is gone as you've done like here, and then you just have the ribbon in the middle.
yeah, then it just becomes a situation where you're stuck on a section basically for 10 seconds trying to read each one of these ribbons flipping and animating in and out, which people are going to get bored. It's going to be a lot of and it's going to be a lot of reading. You know, if because you to do it evenly,
So not
you
like
would
this. I'm sorry, Joe. So not like this.
no, no.
Okay.
That
Hmm.
Okay.
it would just be it basically to do the minimum size. It would be three of them to fit in the real estate and to have adequate viewing. But if you sit there and you read those three steps and then it rotates again and flips to the next ribbons and then you have to read another three, you're basically reading a paragraph of text, you know,
Mm-hmm.
over the course of 10 seconds.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the way you're describing it would be a lot, but I just. I don't want to say it and it sounds really aggressive, but I feel like when you don't want to do something or you see it already in your mind as stupid, when you present it, the idea, it always sounds
no,
bad
no, no. I,
because you're
I
gonna.
did try. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
I did
okay,
try.
okay, okay. That's all I'm saying. Because usually it's like, uh, I don't think it's gonna work, and I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why it doesn't work versus coming up with a
Oh no, no,
solution
no,
why.
no, no.
Okay,
I
okay,
genuinely tried to do everything first because I think in my head a lot of stuff is really cool, and then I go on paper and I'm like,
try
what
it
the
and it doesn't.
is wrong with you? So,
Flipping. The word is
Whoa!
flipping.
Whoa!
Oh,
so
The word is flipping.
flip.
I didn't say anything. Y'all the one flipping. I'm just saying.
Well, you ain't have to
Okay.
leave it blank.
That's right.
Okay.
And I was like, "Whoa!" I just dropped it like that.
I don't know. I saw Professor Argo's eyes get big as mine, so to
Yeah,
me,
their
that
saucers just now.
Professor Argo, if you refresh, there's a sixth draft that I posted. It was uploading at the beginning of the meeting, so I posted it while we were meeting. If that
Okay.
I don't
makes
know,
sense.
but I mean, as far as animation 3D wise, I mean, is it too much? Just fine. Whatever.
I'm sorry, 3D wise?
Yeah, you're doing so much animation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animation.
Yeah, but it feels good. I mean, it's all still pretty simple and it's clean. It's not, coming at you. It doesn't feel like too
It's
much. I'm
not
not getting.
overwhelming.
It's not
Not
like a roller
smashed.
coaster, with zooms and all this other business going on. It's,
All
it's
right.
it's good.
It's not overwhelming. It's nice. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna go back to it.
Mhm.
It is. It's nice. Just
Mhm.
balance it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Balance it all.
Yeah,
Has
it's
my
really nice.
screen flipped yet? It hasn't, has it?
Mm.
No,
I like the color palette too.
sorry.
It's not gonna. Color palette. Talk about that, Kim.
Well, it definitely captures the all-American type
Exactly.
feel or theme of his project
Retro.
with the shades of
nostalgia.
green and red and so forth, and it's kind of got a old-fashioned feel to it,
Mhm.
being toned
Kind of
down.
makes you think of McDonald's. They
Yeah.
use the same colors for that reason.
I think of pinup girls.
I think of the 90s too. Yeah.
And burgers?
But
Yeah.
it has
Well,
that kind of antique up.
Joe,
It has
Joe,
a
explain to them
nostalgia
when I
era
said
to
that
it.
the first time what you told me.
Sorry, my kid was yelling. I heard part of the conversation.
Joe, I think of pinup girls, and you told me that you used that in the beginning.
Right.
Hello?
Lori, I
Sorry,
think
let
you're
me
out there by
Are you
yourself on
there?
this one.
Uh-oh.
Where'd you
Can
go,
you hear
Joe?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you went away.
Okay. Sorry, kid was yelling. I had to mute. Anyways,
Oh,
no, when I first started out on my mood boards, um, they were all based on ROIs that would resonate with the target audience. So one was a sports bar, one was going on playing on the fast casual gourmet burger type scene that's been really big. The other one was playing off of basically a restaurant theme, but after using the key word there, some people decided that it was not best suited. In addition, it was limiting after the brand expands. So it went to more of this vintage modernism theme, and then eventually it got modified to reflect American nostalgia. And it played in perfectly because Bomber Burger, it's right by the military Air Force base. That was also part of the reason that it had originally had that bomber pinup type idea behind it.
See? See, Kim?
And if you actually look at the mood board, the top right section does actually utilize some of that artwork.
Well,
I
it's
know
very
I'm
nice.
bold, but, It just has that look to me. And when I first said it to him, that's what he told me he did use in the beginning.
Yep.
Because I did a lot of stuff with pinup things, so girls, so that's how it has that look.
Mm-hmm.
Is it showing my screen? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like me to? I don't mean to cut you
Make it
off, Joe.
move. Joe, are
Oh,
you
cutting
done?
me
Yeah.
off.
No, I
Yeah, I'm
think
done.
they're done. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, we were done, Lens.
Music's awesome.
Are you going to have narration?
Yeah, I haven't. I've been working on it, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. So you'll narrate what we're looking at then.
I'll narrate over top of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I might start plugging in some narration now that I'm seeing and listening to it. I don't know, but you might want to just try throwing some in there because your music is so intense, and I don't know how it's.
Yeah.
And that helps with the mood. I don't know how it's going to sound when you tone that down to be able to record over it, or you have to be really assertive with it.
Super upbeat.
Or
Gotta
maybe you
be
can
in
get a
the
male
zone.
voiceover.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Lindsay,
Right.
You might need a
you have a
voiceover.
very soft voice, so you're gonna have to really.
Well, I have help. I have male help.
Yeah, there
Get
you
the
go.
drill sergeant in
Yeah,
there.
I have help.
You didn't find him on Fiverr, did you?
No, I didn't. I married one of them. That's how we met. Did you not know that?
Crossfitting?
Really?
I'm sorry.
Buy a date, $5.
Yeah. Um,
Buy a pinup girl.
You have a lot going on in terms of different styles, different compositions, and so on and so forth. But it's working. The music is working and pulling it all together. So, and you've got the brick background as a
Yeah.
unifying element, and the music, of course, is a unifying element. So, I'm not as concerned about your rash of creativity. It feels pulled together, even though there's a lot of different things going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, he don't bust your chops. He just busts my chops.
Well, in like the defense of the project,
Yeah.
that was one of the huge hurdles because it's an affiliate system, it's not a franchise. So each gym creates their own logo, creates their own programming, is essentially like an entity of itself, like under CrossFit. So I need it to be really flexible.
I
don't know
would
why you
I
explain
would
it to
say
me.
to possibly think about balancing those, so like you've got the words at the front that are all rectilinear and up against each other and small and big and whatnot. Use that as a transition at some point a little bit later on, come back to it, and put whatever section you're looking at, creative development, and then under creative development you might have all these words that are the things that we're going to see, and then they kind of move and go into it. And so that will help even more bring everything together with that kind of unifying element, just by balancing out when you use these different effects, these different compositions.
Sounds good.
Can you continue playing?
This is as far as it goes.
Oh, that's
sorry.
it? Okay.
Yeah. It just all goes out and then we're done for the moment.
Okay. And then Eric, yeah, your point is very good. Like you probably want to start trying the voiceover so that we have a sense of where you're going with that.
Yeah.
What that's going to be.
And that's just going to help you in the long run. I don't want to see in the 11th hour being like, oh, wait, my music's way too loud and the voice is getting drowned out.
No,
or my
that's
voice
fair.
It's
isn't the
heavy.
right
Like
theme.
even if you decrease the decibels, you've got a heavy bass line in that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm hoping to keep my voiceovers fairly short. I mean,
Mhm.
like the point of my music is to carry through, so
Right.
I mean,
I
it's
hear
not
you,
going to be
Lindsay.
like straight narrating the whole time.
Does anybody have the platform pulled up, the discussion board?
Yes.
I just closed it.
Are there any more comments for Ms. Williams?
I don't think so.
Your font typography, I think page.
Close the window. Close the window.
What
Boy.
window?
Oh, never mind. So I just hallucinated because. Wait, which one?
What is going on with you, Eric?
I don't know. Which
I don't know.
screen am I showing?
Yeah, right.
It's
Over
getting
there.
late, guys.
Oh,
Oh
sorry.
my
I stopped showing my screen.
goodness.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Which
Oh my
screen do I
goodness.
show?
Okay.
Well, Eric, you need to be TA now, and
Okay, which. Can you see it? I don't know which screen I'm showing.
Yeah, I can see
well,
it. It
well,
doesn't show up
Lori
that
was
you're.
talking about Lindsay's.
Yeah, I was the
I'm
typography
listening.
page, Lindsay, where you
Yeah.
have them all listed.
Uh-huh.
I think it's on that grayish, greenish like background.
It is. Yeah.
I need to see. Yeah,
Right
right there, right there.
Yeah, right there.
Couldn't you make that bigger? I mean, because you can't even see the last three. I feel like I'm in an eye test.
Yeah, I can make that bigger.
Oh, and the name doesn't come till the end, or
It doesn't come
Oh,
till the end.
can we do
Is that
something
not
about that?
okay? I can
Yeah,
double check.
it's
Yeah.
more important to see the name of it and than it is the repeated letters.
Okay, no worries.
I took the letters out of mine, Professor Argo. I just thought the name was important also.
Lovely. In fact, you'll be so excited to see that we are. Well, I can't show my screen now, but we are developing a rubric for those people who just want to have a rubric. And one of the things that we are one of the things we are doing is making it mandatory to not only show your typography, your font choice, but to also tell us where in the hierarchy it will be used. So
I get that.
veneer,
Cool.
headline, subhead, body copy. So,
Okay.
so actually,
And-
everybody should sort of be doing that. That would be lovely
So-
if you do.
Yeah.
I did.
So
My next
Argo,
thing-
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Oh, you froze, Lori.
me to put the numbers in black and the letters and colors, and I decided to take out all the alphabet, all the numbers, and just put, say, Great Vibes and put heading.
Yep,
And Moral Seraph puts whatever.
that's the way to do it. Yep.
Sorry, that's not Great Vibes is actually my logo and part of other things, but yeah, I did it that way. I thought that was more important.
Head of the game. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, Lori's number one. So, Eric.
Yeah.
Ching, ching,
Um,
ching.
on to the next. Here we go.
There you go.
See, she getting paid.
Right. Unplug my headphones and close my door real quick, actually. Welcome to the New North Country College. In a place like no other is a college where students explore academics and life.
Who's got notes for Eric?
I don't have anything negative.
Well, that's okay. It doesn't have to be negative, but what do you got?
I just appreciate his. He started cleaning things up, so like when we get to the map is colored, and he points out where those locations will be.
As the only
He
public
cleaned
college,
up your green bars.
campus is a gateway to the nation's largest expanse of protected wilderness. A region that is
He sounds very professional.
Question right here. Question right here. Does the mountain, couldn't you move? I don't know how you have it. Is it in front or in behind? Looks like front. The mountains are in front of him.
well, they've got a
Kind of
multiple
blended.
with them.
I don't know. It just looks like it's like pushing up against his chest to me. Like
Which one?
both.
Plain Einstein.
I like
One on
it.
the
I
left.
like it on Twain. I don't like it on Buddy.
On the Einstein one.
That I
Yeah,
don't.
Buddy.
Einstein. Oh, you can't see my fingers. I'm still like Buddy over here.
All right, Professor Kratz. All right.
Alright.
Right over here, this one.
You used to always tell us that. Look, guys, I'm this
Look,
one right
look,
here.
this one.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
talking
know.
about Buddy over here.
I don't know.
I like I like him. I don't like that one.
You don't like Twain.
No, yes, you're
I don't.
fine.
Both of
You're
them.
fine.
Fine.
You're not so good.
Oh, say the right or left.
Both.
Okay, so if you're, so what I can do is, if you remember in the project book, that's one image, and it's basically this background, this mountain background, but it's faded in black and white at that section.
Mm-hmm.
What I can do is I can just get the two original images and replace them so that there's not this conflict of mountain right here,
Right.
because that mountain doesn't move. That mountain is static. So see that right there?
Oh, yeah.
That stays static while the background is moving because there's a slate overlay.
Oh, I see what you did now. I just got what you did. It just like came to me. Okay. All right.
So I could bring in the two originals and edit them so that they're not, so no transparency on them.
Right.
Or,
I like it, but would it look funny if it was just from the shoulder up for him, like he's in the clouds, like
Twain.
what is it called when the movies do it with the person in the clouds?
Superimposition.
Yep.
That's
Superimpose.
probably what they call it. Yes.
Superimpose, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely,
I
I
like
think that
that.
would look. Yeah, I think that would, because you could see his jacket, tie, and everything within the mountains. I think is a distraction.
Okay. Well, I will definitely.
And just like standing over on the, is that a rock or? I mean, I don't know. It just to me it splits the body some kind of how.
Yeah, it does.
It sort of worked for me all this time in that they're dead. And
Who cares? No.
They're spirits, they're spiritual. It's the idea. It's an implied presence. It's a ghostly remnant of the past or something.
Right.
So
right.
it's always worked for me on that level. It hasn't bothered me that typically I'm the first person to say you got a line going through that person's stomach right there. But
yeah, we heard.
yeah, that happens. So.
We heard that you're very particular about things lining up.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I own it.
It was also told to me, oh, you'll love Argo, Lori, because he's a lot like you. You like things lined up.
Oh, well, see, there you go. And, you're probably going to get an A in this class, Lori. I'll just say it. There you go.
Cha-ching! First.
She wins.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with what Argo said about the spirituality. That's exactly what I feel.
Yeah, me too.
But I just feel like you're cutting through him, like, with the mountains. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't like it. We're not
It wouldn't be the end of the world to mess around with that, Eric, and see if, like you said, there's an image there that's static and make it a little bit less opaque or something. You could mess around with it.
I'll just bring it in Photoshop and clean it up.
Can't you blur that out? Well, no, you can't because it's.
He could put a wall in right here and have the faded out just go off the page at that point.
Yeah.
But would that then feel inconsistent?
Mm-hmm. So you remember how you had him before and he was up in the sky? It looked
Look at that. That looks so much better. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Laura.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no problem. Go ahead and feel free to cut me off again.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just joking, Argo.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, Lori. What were you saying? About up in the sky?
I can't.
Say it. Say it. What?
Didn't you have him up in the sky before, Eric? Like faded into the sky at one time in Baldowski's class?
No. Wait, yes. So in this image, I had the three great minds, Stevenson, Twain, and Einstein, in the
Okay.
back of this image.
So couldn't you kind of do that on that part too?
Yeah, so that they were in the way background, and the mountains were on top of them.
Yeah. Like them on top of the mountain type of thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep playing this and find that image real quick. Brainmark consists of three unfurled leaves that combine to create a labyrinth. Together, it represents potential for growth and free thought. The typeface is a slab serif that reflects a traditional college experience. The color palette is cyclical and coincides with the changing of the seasons. Environmental composites are also used to harness the theme.
Eric, I got a quick question for you.
Yep.
On your divider pages, your topography, you fixed it up quite nicely. I just your baselines, you looks like you vary in between them. Like some you have them nice and compacted in, other you have like these huge gaps in it. Any specific reasoning, just to take up space, or
This baseline?
sorry, what?
My baseline? Right here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
check your dividers and see how they all look space wise, leading and.
Well, I didn't touch them. I just typed on them. I don't hand Kern anything.
I don't need you to hand Kern.
What? You did not do that.
Shame on you, Eric. You should
Shame,
hand
shame.
kern everything.
Well, he's talking about leading, not kerning, right? Isn't that what you're talking
It's a
about, Joe?
joke. It's a joke we keep running, Argo.
Oh, well, you should hand
Inside,
kern, yes.
inside.
Inside joke.
You better go back in there and make sure that leading and everything is right.
I mean, my cursor between two.
Well, there's no descender here. Is that, I don't know. What are you talking about, Joe?
The dividers. There's not a cohesive baseline, so to say, for it. Like,
go to another one.
You go to like 19 seconds. It's got just the few words on it, and it takes up like
he's right.
section of it.
Yeah, but that's well.
But those are the
I didn't say anything was
directive
wrong.
words, really.
Yeah,
well, and I didn't say anything was wrong. I was asking what was the reasoning for having some of them so far instead of versus another section.
Well, but
generally,
now
even if you have objectives or keywords, you would still try to keep something close to that spacing.
Well, each one starts at the same left-hand side, and then it's really just dependent on the size of the quote.
So the first one is bigger with the three words, but the rest of them are all consistent.
Right, the rest of them are all the same size. So, I mean, in this first one with the Explore, Dream, Discover, definitely.
You're emphasizing.
Yeah.
Right. That's
okay.
Okay. So, we'll see. I could play around making it the same font size as those other ones.
Wouldn't be the end of the world, probably.
Nuance.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all the same size of my project book, but also that canvas was a whole lot bigger to fit quotes in. And this was the image lord.
Yeah, yeah.
That's scary. I like the new one.
Yeah, those ones creep me out, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like the new one. That's scary.
Thank York for that one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, yeah.
Students will be able to share their customized degrees with family and friends via social networks.
Mobile tour.
Mobile tour?
Is that Mobile, Alabama that we're gonna go see?
Stop, that's where my mother lives.
Yeah. Mobile.
Mobile?
My mom lives.
Mobile tour. Is that what I said?
Huh?
I said mobile tour.
Yeah, but it's spelled like Mobile, so like a tour of Mobile. I'm being stupid. It's late for me. Go ahead.
Ah.
Argo. Why do you
Okay.
say you're being stupid, Argo?
I'm
Trick me
just
out.
being stupid, you know?
Okay.
Wow.
Mm.
Business cards are also designed to empower employees.
That's what happens when you give late meetings.
I know.
Hey Eric, I'm not nitpicking, I swear. Question on your
Nitpick. Do
divided
it.
pages.
Sounds like a prep to me, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
When your page is split, there's like this like 1-2 pixel
All right.
leftover
Right there.
of what the other image looks like.
Yeah.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, I don't know why it does that. It just does it.
Okay.
But it was so minor that I just brushed
Well,
it
you
off.
have a week and a half to fix it. Will that be okay?
I will try my darndest. So I think what happens is that I've got one layer, then one video layer, then another video layer, and the background image, kind of scoots over a little bit, but doesn't scoot over all the way. And so there's still residual data underneath. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I have no idea.
On a completely separate note, and I can't remember from your project book, and I'm sorry, I'm not pulling it up right now. For your print section, did you have her head cut off
Yeah.
in your project book also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
It's at like 2 minutes and 26 seconds. I don't know. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
of a
both-
sudden, it struck me that you like decapitated your people.
No, both
The
of them have always
models.
been decapitated.
Why did you do that, Eric?
I can't remember why, but I did it for a reason.
What?
think
Wait a
it-
minute, Eric.
Because
Wait.
they're-
Did it have? Well, obviously, it was for a reason, duh. Did it have to do with the sunlight gleaming? Remember?
Yes, that's what it was.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what? The sunlight did
Yeah,
what?
it's two different images that have been composited together,
Okay.
and her face was like wicked bright, or his face was so dark, and it was really tough to make a match. So I just cut off their heads.
Off with their heads.
Yeah.
I
and
think
plus,
it didn't bother
this
me as
was
much until I see them like moving and it's like literally chopping their heads off,
Right.
and now it bothers
But-
me.
Okay, so
But
what you
they're
trying
not
to do?
models,
The
they're
Addams
mannequins.
family now?
They're mannequins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, you guys. I think of the Addams family.
I
What
did
about
not like
Can you make it play? Can you make it move?
you?
Move it.
Oh yeah, Lindsay. Yes.
Yeah, and I
Woo!
obviously haven't picked up on it before, but just now watching it, I was like, wow, like their heads are literally being chopped off.
Oh no.
That's bad.
It's funny.
All right.
Yeah, go
Right.
ahead. You take it.
If I scale
Hi,
it down, is it
hello.
going to look awkward with her not having a head at all and just floating through the air?
Yeah, but Eric, all you had to do was take some of this, copy the sunlight and put it towards him, and it would have matched.
I don't think they
Well,
even
and he
be in
could
the same
he could
picture.
be dark. He could be in the darker section. The sun happens to be on her face. I mean,
And I said that to you. Remember, Eric?
I don't know. It was so long ago. This was 2.5 months ago.
Look,
I don't know.
Don't even try to get amnesia now, okay?
I don't know.
I told you that it could be the other side. He could be the darker side of where the sun is gleaming. I said that to you.
yeah.
I don't know. I still think that it was because I would just wanted them to be mannequins, and I wanted the focus to be on the prints
Don't
themselves.
even try it. Put their heads back on their shoulders. How would you like somebody to chop your
I
head
think
off?
that's what I ultimately settled on, was that these are, not models. They're, it's for the print. It's not to show the person.
You're cutting off their heads. Give them their heads back.
I'll try.
Okay.
I don't even know if I have this original file anymore.
First of all, the skin looks too real to be a mannequin, so get real.
10-4, I will try my best.
Well, I do like the way you have the bags that look like it's like right up in that section of that image, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Breaking that visual plane. Yeah.
Final asset is a television and web commercial that introduces the flexibility of the new print.
Explore your backyard.
I like how it switches like this.
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't
I
this
like
where
how
it's like
the
kind of
photos
fast?
switch out.
It's good. We
What
don't
do you mean
like.
by switch out? The music switches out?
No, I like how the photos switch. I'm not saying that you switched anything. I just like how the photos, I guess, like switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Transition, the
Got it.
There
transition.
you go.
Are you
I
the
can't.
rhythm, the
That's the
pacing?
word.
It
Yeah.
gets going, yeah,
Thank you. Sorry.
and it sort of gives you
It's
that
okay.
limitless possibilities kind of thing.
Well, it reminds me of like the old reels of the movies, how it would just kind of
Definitely.
like go out and like do that stutter
Mhm.
at the end, like the old
Mhm.
film reels at the end of the movie. So that's what it reminds me of, how it kind of like speeds up at the end to like get you out.
Nicely punctuates the end of your video.
Hmm.
On to Melissa's.
Like,
Oh,
I just left her feedback in the discussion board.
So, Joe, since you've already left feedback, you want to lead us in?
Um, without like repeating the obvious of things that she hasn't done from the last few go-to meetings that we've already discussed. I just gave her some recommendations about putting down a beat markers to actually create the animations so that way they're nice and fluid. Um, that way she could actually spread out because she only has like a minute and a half or something like that of video. But yet she has enough elements in there to have 3 minutes worth. She just needs to slow down the animations and actually time them.
Right.
I mean, she's added more to it, but with the speed and the animations that are still super fast. I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. You don't have to hit every beat. You can hit every other beat.
Yeah.
Fifth, stretch it out.
mhm.
And
Yeah, she still has
I
like
don't
too
know
much
about those
text.
words zooming across the images like that. That's not a good idea.
And that's the thing is like, there's no guarantee of what she's actually doing to to really say, well, I think this would be better because it's all like that. All of her transitions are basically in a matter of a second.
Right.
There's very
Yeah.
few transitions that are actually to the pace of her music. So she has a lot of content. That's about all I can say.
Anybody else?
my name is Wes. I'm not in this mess.
Booyah!
Exactly.
Well, this, like you said, Joe, same comment. The elements feel appropriate. It seems like what you're doing is fine. It's just that the timing is so off. We don't know what to do with it. So
Yeah, I mean, if the timing was there, I could easily explain some more of this works or this isn't working or this is competing, but it all competes when you have 3 or 4 elements smashing across the screen at the same time.
yep. Is that everybody?
yes, it
I
was.
think so.
Well, we didn't. Well, yeah, I guess
Didn't what?
What?
Everyone's there.
there's a couple people we didn't look at. Like. But I
thought we-
guess you don't want to.
Ooh,
We didn't look at Tiffany.
Well, she didn't post.
she didn't post. We looked for it.
You didn't? How about what's her name? What's her name? Stacy Wilson.
Stacey Wilson.
didn't
She didn't post.
Stacy
Earlier.
didn't
Yeah.
post.
Okay.
I didn't see Abby
Sure.
post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abby hasn't posted, Steph.
Raul didn't post either.
Raul didn't post.
Wow, that's
No.
surprising.
I always make sure to have a post up before I go to work Thursday morning.
Excellent. Kim, you're in the
Yes,
lead.
that is Kim.
I'm trying.
Well, then we're good to go, I guess.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yay.
Happy 49.
Okay.
Everybody
bedtime.
did really well. Yeah.
Wow.
some stuff to work on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting
Night,
there.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank
All right.
you, and good
Right.
night.
Bye.